of a sudden now I'm staying out here in these 3 yurts. Oh God. They were building a road to China because China obviously is consuming massive amounts of coal. And what was actually happening was China was building half it. China was building a road out of China halfway into Mongolia, and then Mongolia was meeting it so that they could get the coal down to them. Well, this is the man who's responsible for building roads in Mongolia. I was just saying, he needs to hurry up. So guys, how you doing?
That's how workers.
So he just turned around and he said to me, come on out to the camp, stay there, it's more comfortable, blah blah blah. I have a cook. We got in his 4x4, drove out, and it was 3 yurts in the middle of nowhere, and I mean the absolute middle of nowhere. And I nearly had a heart attack. I was just in a terrible place, and I walked out. Can you imagine you just show up 3 tents in the middle of nowhere? You go, oh for fuck's sake. And it turned out that I was going to have to wait there 3 days. If you went from where you are now to Mongolia, that transition is so difficult. And I had just gone from Barnaul in Russia, and all of a sudden I was in Mongolia, lost. I mean, all my gear was broken down. I was stuck, and I'm just saying to myself, how the fuck did I end up here? And I don't want to be here, I just want to go home. And you know, it's just pure old depressed shite. Tushy just told me you need to sleep. So one of the guys made up a bed for me. He'd actually took his jacket off his bed, gave me his bed, and he slept in the other place. And I went to sleep. All the work crew went off to work, and I was just there with Lamchi. She's the camp cook. And I fell asleep in the thing for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours or something like that. But the whole time I was aware of the noise of this small boiler that they have in the middle of the yurt, and you know, it's cracking away on wood and whatever else. When I woke up, I was a brand new man. All of a sudden I was filled with the sense of opportunity that I would never again be where I am now, and to try and make the most of it. I'm having breakfast in the yurt. This bread, right? Well, there's this steamed dough. And you know, if you got like a really fresh pan of Brennan's bread, right? And cut out the middle of it and squished it all together. That's exactly what it's like. Lovely. You wouldn't expect to be getting it out in the yurt in Mongolia, that's for sure. Très bien. It's amazing what sleep deprivation will do to you. If you don't get enough kip, it just turns you into a freak show. But then all of a sudden, when you've had a bit of kip, you can take on anything. Just had lunch in a yurt, that's a first. It's the boss man. His cook made it. See, this is lying down on this little fella here. It's really comfortable actually, and these things are much bigger on the inside than they look when they're outside. There's loads of room in it. But they're so warm on the inside. They're roasting. Like they are warmer than my house back in Ireland. Make no mistake about that. My house in Ireland in the winter is fucking freezing. And this, you know, you have to put on the fire and the heat to keep up. These boys, they put on that little centre burner in the thing, and that yurt is fucking roasting. I doubt Genghis Khan would have had a solar panel. But other than that, and having the Jenny out the back, it's the exact same. Here we are, it's the 2 boys now. We just had a bit of grub, out getting some fresh air. Try and let it all go down. Hopefully it doesn't go down too quick, if you get me meaning. Do you ever think you won't live in a yurt? Will you always live in a yurt?
Yurt.
Yeah. Yurt, yeah. One of these. Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
That is for our natural house. Natural.
It's your natural house?
Yeah, natural house.
You prefer, and you can move the house?
Yeah, too easy to move.
Life for the people who live here is extremely hard. The average woman's day is fucking shocking. You know, they get up really early, they're preparing grub, they're out gathering yak shit, you know, and that's what they use to cook. And now in this particular yurt they use wood, but that's because it's a company yurt. It's owned by the road, the crowd who constructed the road behind me. You know, after that the girl was preparing grub, you know, took an awful long time, and then no sooner had she finished and it was cleaned up, and then she was preparing other stuff for this evening, you know, and she literally, from the time I got here to, what's it now, 6 o'clock in the evening, she didn't fucking stop. She's just going for a little nap there. You know, it's fucking hard. It's hard for them, and then at the same time, it's a fairly simple life. All you're doing is, you know, the men, they go out, and the women, they go out herding cattle, sheep and goats and stuff like that, and it's real kind of subsistence living. They're happy. You know, a yurt costs about $800, and they could move it around the place. No one owns the land, so they just move it. If they don't like where they are, they just pick it up and move it. But it's one of the most simple, basic forms of living that I've ever seen. You know, they don't give a shite about times, or you have to do this at this time, I have to do that. No, it'll just happen when it happens. There's no rush. There's no obviously refrigeration here, so what they do is they just fucking hang the meat there and hang it like, you know, raw or whatever. But I think what they do is they smoke it, they cook yak shit, and it comes up and it smokes it, I suppose. They dry it there and then they chop it up and throw it into all the dishes. What do you like, a centre cut, a filet mignon perhaps? Yeah, this one pulls straight off a bull's arse. And I can understand why people find that lifestyle attractive. Especially in the West where it's all go, 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 come on man, come on, what's the story? It's late man, you should be on time. What about exceeding the customer's expectations and all this fucking bollocks? You have people out here, yeah, you know, just living life, living with nature. The thing that maybe what keeps it like this is that all the communities are so isolated. Yesterday when I got lost or broke down or whatever, you know, I was waiting hours for someone to pass, and there was just a small community, and then one or two people came along, but then we didn't see anybody else for like an hour, and then we met like one other person. And I think the thing that's kind of preventing me from enjoying it more is the fact that I know my bike is fucking broke, and potentially tomorrow I have a 40-hour, listen to that one more time, 40-hour, right, truck ride to Ulaanbaatar. It's about 1,200 kilometres, and of the 1,200 kilometres, 900 of them are over just muck and shit. So the best you'll do in a truck is about 40 kilometres an hour in that. There's Namchi up there roaring on the phone. She's fucking gas. That up there is Namchi's little private place where she heads off. You can get a mobile phone signal up there, so she gets up there to phone her daughter in Ulaanbaatar. That's how you pronounce it, not Ulaanbaatar. It's Ulaanbaatar. Say it with a Dublin accent and you get it right. Morning. Well, I'm in my usual place here. I'm just watching for dust clouds. And that dust cloud will hopefully signify my truck. You can see them coming from miles off. I mean, at least maybe 20 kilometres that way you can see them, because I'm kind of up high here and looking down on a plain. I had the most wonderful night in that yurt. Slept like when you get up in the morning, you really do need to clear your throat, but it's it was fantastic. And one of the guys there, this really cool guy, he looks about 18, but he's married with 2 kids and in Ulaanbaatar, and he gave me his bed, and he insisted I take it, so I gave him my air mattress from my camp and stuff, the Thermarest thing, and you know, I didn't have a pillow, and next thing he rolls up his jacket and he gave it to me without me even asking for it, you know, that sort of way. Like, he was just looking at us and, is he alright? And then he rolled up his jacket and gave me the pillow, and I was just, you know, and then the girl who's the cook in the place, then she just made me breakfast there, and I was just going to go and, you know, I feel this kind of, I feel almost ashamed of myself, I suppose, because these people don't know me, right? But think about it in Ireland, right? If somebody from Mongolia showed up, would I do the exact same thing? Would I fuck? No, would I fuck? But here I am, just a dude. They don't know me from Adam, just a guy who showed up in a town. And next time I'm in the yurt sleeping with them, they're cooking for me 3 times a day. One of them was helping me washing my hair last night, you know, because you have to put your head down over a bucket and he's pouring water over my head and all that sort of stuff. And I'm just kind of going, you know what I mean? You feel that, you know what, you're only a fucking bollocks back home, even though you kind of maybe convince yourself that you're a nice guy and all that sort of stuff. So it's hopefully, you know, Mongolia, if nothing else, it teaches me that, to try and be a nicer person, you know, to be much more actively nice as opposed to just nice to the people that maybe you encounter or who are in your life and all that sort of stuff. You see somebody who looks like they need help, to stop and give it to them at every opportunity you can. I think that's the main thing I'm taking away from it anyway. I made a point of telling me that I was a good man and all this sort of stuff, you know, which is, I think, there's no better compliment that anybody can be paid, to be honest, you know. But, you know, saying goodbye, I've talked about this before, but the piece I struggle with the most is when you meet people and have to say good luck. You kind of create these bonds with them, and then all of a sudden you know, you have to say goodbye. And when you say goodbye on a trip like this, you're never going to meet the person again, ever, you know. My truck still hasn't arrived. It's 4 or 5 hours late now. I doubt there's any chance I'll get out of here tonight. But the wind has been brutal all day. This is actually the first chance I had a chance to kind of even get out in it, and just realised that the yurt which the workers are sleeping in, you know, terrible. The bees is going to be about 20 of us sleeping in the one yurt tonight. Well, maybe I'll just pitch the tent and the 2 or 3 of them jump up where I was. Man, that's fucking terrible. Jesus. Well, I tell you, fair play to them. No sooner were they back, instead of mourning the thing, you know, today, and if it was me, I'd feel like fucking torching it, throw some petrol on it and fucking burn it. They all got it all segregated into its component bits, and they're going to get all the parts from the local town tomorrow and get it all fixed up. I tell you, they came back, said, oh shit, for 30 seconds and then just got stuck in. And these guys are fucking amazing. They're amazing. And this might be my truck.
It wasn't exactly the truck, but what it was 2 of the guys who I'd met originally. They were coming to come and get me and then bring me down to the main track where the truck was waiting.
It's an important shot. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, how are you? Truck is finally here. Pleased to meet you. How are you doing? Alright, so let me turn this off. You can't see me, but I'm there. The truck has showed up and we're on the way to Ulaanbaatar. Woohoo!